Good morning, fam. What's going on? Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Alabama scheduled to play Tennessee today at 2:30 p.m. Game is on CBS at 2:30. Debating whether to have this, the watch party. So stay tuned on that. I might have something new up my sleeve. Then, of course, the post-game call-in show right after, right here on BamaInsider.com. Take your calls. Call online at the bottom of the screen. 205-850-0883 is the call-in line number. I'm sure you guys have your cigars from R&R. We talked about that last night with Mick Gillespie during our Bama Tailgate show. That show is available right now via podcast. I want to take your calls today, and I want to get your score prediction for today's game between Alabama and Tennessee. Kind of when you look at this matchup overall, I mean, it's pretty unbelievable to think that Tennessee has not beaten Alabama since 2006. We talked about where everybody was in 2006 a couple times, during our last couple of shows. Myself, I was back in Las Cruces, New Mexico. We got our first caller on. We'll take it in just a second. Alabama coming into this game ranked number 2 in the country. Big victories in the opening 4 weeks of the season against Missouri, 38-19, then beating Texas A&M 52-24, Ole Miss 63-48, Georgia 41-24, and today favored by 22 over Tennessee. Tennessee coming into this season 2-2, beat South Carolina 31-27. Beat Missouri 35-12. In the game, I thought, Tennessee looked pretty good. And then the last couple of weeks, Tennessee has started to trend downward, losing to Georgia 44-21 rather, and then losing to Kentucky by a score of 34-7. Call-in line is open right now. 205-850-0883 is the call-in line number. I'll take your calls. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining me right now this morning. Good morning to everybody. We'll have tons of coverage coming your way on BamaInsider.com. Do not forget to take advantage of this deal. $12 right now for 1 year on BamaInsider.com. The regular price is $99. So think about this, $12 for just 1 year. Promo code is BAMA12. This deal will not last long. So go to BamaInsider.com and definitely get that promo code. Take advantage of it. Bama Insider for just 1 year. Promo code is simply BAMA12. I think, storylines going into this game, Alabama's offense and Chris Lowe of ESPN, who we had a chance to speak with during our Bama Insider Tailgate show. Call line is open 205-850-0883. Spoke about and recently wrote an article which was published last night, which you can go check out, that said Nick Saban says that offense wins games now, not defense. And I think the point of the story is that offense and college football in general has really evolved, and Nick Saban evolved with that. And I was talking with Mick Gillespie this morning and was kind of outlining today, and brought up the point that LSU, what they were able to do last year. I mean, yeah, their defense they were all right, but I mean, it was more about that nobody could beat them schematic wise on offense. I mean, that was one of the most talented teams ever. And of course, I think if let's say Alabama is able to run the table, especially with the gauntlets that they played, certainly could be in that contention. But point is, I think the offense has changed so much, and Nick Saban has changed with that. Call line is open 205-850-0883. Want to take your score predictions and, kind of get some feedback going into this game. And then, of course, tonight we'll have the post-game show right here on BamaInsider.com. My name is Kyle Henderson, and, I'm excited about today's game, to be honest. I think it presents a lot of opportunities for this team to continue to move towards their ultimate goal, which is winning a national title. The last couple of times that Alabama and Tennessee have met, I mean, last year you look at this particular game, and Alabama comes away with a 35-13 victory in Tuscaloosa, a game that Tennessee maybe felt that they were in at some capacity. The year before in Knoxville, Tennessee, it was Alabama 58 and Tennessee 21. And before that, it was Alabama 45-7. What do you guys think about Jeremy Pruitt and, Tennessee? Do you think that, it's kind of the beginning of the end with Jeremy Pruitt, or do you think that Tennessee will give him a little bit more time in terms of trying to get something with the program? I think when you look at Tennessee overall, Jeremy Pruitt, he's done a pretty good job. But I think, like I continue to say, even I said this during our tailgate show last night, I think with Phil Former kind of in the background, I think it creates, you kind of have that watchful eye just because he was a former head coach. And I think it's difficult for, any coach to be there, especially with him kind of watching over. I don't know, just kind of my take. Call line is open. 205-850-0883 is the call line number. Definitely, hit that, Byron, I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. And then tonight, following the game, we will take your calls right here on BamaInsider.com. Once again, don't forget to take advantage of that flash sale. Get a year for just $12 on BamaInsider.com. Deal is live. I'll put the description or the link in this description, but of course, go to BamaInsider.com. And then later tonight, it's the post-game call-in show. I'll be taking your calls after Alabama and Tennessee right here on BamaInsider.com. Got a great article by our team writer, Tony Sukalis, on Devonta Smith. You look at what Devonta Smith has done at Alabama, during his career. Everybody knows that he caught that pass from Tua Tagovailoa in 2nd and 26 against Georgia to win the national championship. But, what he's done throughout his career has been really amazing so far at Alabama. You look at the overall statistics, call line at the bottom of the screen, 205-850-0883. It's been quite simply glorious, right? 156 catches, 2,500 yards, 27 touchdowns throughout Devonta Smith's career thus far. And we're only in game 4 of the season, which is pretty remarkable. So go read about Devonta Smith on BamaInsider.com. But you already know about Devonta Smith, right? How he's just been pulling down catch after catch after catch since he's been at Alabama. Let's go over the stats kind of going in this game for the Alabama Crimson Tide as they prepare for Tennessee today. Again, thank you for joining me. It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Mac Jones, and we'll show kind of that stat comparison between Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence in just a second. Mac Jones, at the top of your screen, 90 of 115, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. It's been a pretty phenomenal year, and we got our first caller on the line, and we'll take it right now. Hey, good morning. Happy College Football Saturday. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Jeff Stapleton, Selma, Alabama.
Hey, Jeff,
my question is...
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, Jeff, right?
Yeah, Jeff. Do
Okay.
you think that it was a wise idea for Jeremy Pruitt to fire his defensive coordinator right before he plays Alabama, seeing that they're on a 4-0 run? Mac Jones is lighting up the scoreboard. I do believe that Devonta Smith will break the Amari's record today on this game. Also, I think the defense has to show a better showing than what they've been showing lately. I'm trying to word my words right. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's in the morning. Same thing for me.
And also, I believe that Tennessee just has fallen off. You asked the question if it's a rivalry. No, I don't believe it's a rivalry no more. I believe that Alabama's going to run away with this game today. Yeah, they do have a defense, but Jeremy Pruitt said in his interview, his conference meeting, he said that they've had their best 3 practices on defense in the last 3 days. And that's all I got to say. You go ahead and go on with the show. I love the show. The show's great. Roll Tide, and let's kick some butt and light them stogies today. Roll Tide.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right. I'll answer on the other line, and then we'll take our next caller there after that. I think, getting to Jeff's point, so earlier in the week, in case you missed it, Jeremy Pruitt announced on Monday that he had let go of his defensive line coach and that he will be coaching the defensive line for the remainder of the season. And I think a couple of things. Jeremy Pruitt has to make changes because Tennessee, the way that they've played in the last couple of games, it hasn't been up to par, right? You look at the loss to Kentucky, look at the loss to Georgia, and then with having the Alabama Crimson Tide in. So I think it could work maybe as a positive. It inspires a team, inspires a defense, because now Pruitt's really working with the defensive line, or it's a negative. And I think that's probably what it's going to be, in my opinion. I think when you kind of look at the backstory of Tennessee, I think it's trending downward. And I think Jeremy Pruitt trying to make not even a midseason change, but an early season change, I don't think that's very good. In terms of Devonta Smith breaking Amari Cooper's record, very well could. Devonta Smith, what he's been able to do in terms of overall production, it's been pretty amazing at Alabama. I was just talking about the stats before Jeff called in. And you look at what Devonta Smith has done early in the season. He's catching for 38 receptions for 483 yards, and then you have Jalen Waddle, 25 receptions for 557 yards. So those guys certainly doing an incredible job early on in the season. Mac Jones, in my opinion, on pace to compete with Trevor Lawrence for the Heisman Trophy. We'll take our next caller, and that starts right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling in. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's me, Vince, from California.
Hey, what's up, Vince? Good morning, man. I appreciate you starting the day off with Bama Insider. We appreciate it. What's your score prediction for this game today between Alabama and Tennessee?
Oh, I'm thinking 49, probably 49-14.
49-14 for Vince in California. Okay. Okay, we'll save the score prediction. So go ahead, Vince. Thanks very much for joining us.
I think we're if we play the way we did against Georgia when we shut them out the third and the fourth quarter, I think we could get a shutout maybe in this game. This could be actually a shutout. It actually could be 49-0. I'm thinking we are one of the most in the SEC. I think we're the most balanced team in the SEC right now. Because if you look at it, the last couple years, Najee, if you look at it with Jalen Hurts, we were more of a running team. Then when Tua came in the national championship, he opened it up. We became a passing team. But now with Mac Jones, I feel like we're balanced. We can throw the ball when we want to throw the ball, and we can run the ball with Najee. When we have to run the ball, we're not one-dimensional. We're everything. We're back to that powerful offensive line with Evan Neal and everybody else. And I just feel like Steve Sarkisian is calling perfect play calls, and I think it's great. I think our offense is really powerful, really good, and our defense is actually like clicking. That was a really big booster for them this last week.
Hey, Vince, let me ask you something while I have you on the line. And you're talking about the offense, and I think it's perfect timing because Chris Lowe of ESPN recently wrote an article, was published late last night, talked about Saban saying that offense wins games now. It's not defense anymore. And I think the way that Saban's been able to evolve with the game of college football, and I was talking about it when I opened up the show, LSU's offense, which was simply amazing last year. The game has changed, and I know we all want that defense to be fantastic, but talk about kind of how you feel that Nick Saban has evolved with the game, and just like you're talking about, that offense, it could really be the key to his next championship, not so much the defense.
Yeah, well, and that's actually proving Nick Saban is right, because you know why? Look at all his apprentices he's beating. They're like the old Nick Saban, just into defense. Like Kirby. Kirby runs a lot of the old Alabama style of offense and the old Alabama defense.
Absolutely.
Where he relies on his defense, and then when he does offense, it's run. He runs the ball all the time, and then a couple passes to the tight end.
Yep.
That's kind of how we were back in the day. And this Alabama, that's why Saban is always one step ahead of his apprentices. And that's where we're going to see it today against Jeremy Pruitt. He's going to show Jeremy, look at Bud, I'm one step ahead of you, and you're going to have to change it up. And if you look at it, Tennessee's having quarterback problems.
Yeah.
They're having offensive problems. I mean, not defensive problems. They're good there, but they're having offensive problems. And if there's one team that's balanced just like Alabama, it's probably Clemson. But if we meet Clemson, we're going to be well tested. I mean, people are always going to talk about Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence this, Trevor Lawrence that. And I get it. He's a great player. He's been consistent. He's won a national championship. He's been to 2 national championships. But Mac Jones has learned under Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. People forget that Mac Jones was there too, gunning for a position. People forget that he has learned a lot too. Yep. And that's why I believe he's not making those mistakes Tua is. He's not holding the ball as long as Tua did. He's throwing the ball when he has to throw the ball. He's handing the ball off when he has to hand the ball off. And that's why I actually feel, no diss to Tua, but I feel more comfortable with Mac Jones right now than I did with Tua.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the call this morning, Vince. I think you bring up some very interesting points. I'm going to get to my next caller, man, but please call again for the post-game show. Cool?
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's Vince out in California. I think I want to hit on Vince's. We got plenty of calls right now in the call line. I'll get to you guys in just a minute. I think when you kind of look at what Vince was talking about, he had on some great points, being that Nick Saban has been able to evolve with the game of college football, and he's one step ahead of his counterparts that have coached under Nick Saban. For example, Georgia. What was the biggest problem with Georgia? Their offense, right? They just had a game manager at quarterback. They relied on their running game. Nothing much to talk about regarding their offense. Now, their defense was very good. That's kind of like an old school Nick Saban team. Very good, right? And you could win, 7 years ago with that type of defense, but not anymore. I mean, you got to have an offense that's electric like Alabama. And I think over the time, over the last couple of offensive coordinators, we've certainly seen Alabama's offense really evolve with the game of college football. And right now, in my opinion, just like Vince was saying, I think when you look at the landscape of college football, what team out there can really compete with Alabama kind of toe for toe? And I think that's Clemson. I think they have the offense. I think they have the defense. But most importantly, they have the offense that could potentially outshoot Alabama, which I know seems kind of crazy right now. Taking our next caller. Call line number is at the bottom of the screen right here. So taking our next caller, and we'll start right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling in. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Greg. I called in a few times. I just wanted to first give my prediction on the score. I think it'll be maybe like a 52-17 game.
Okay.
Also, I don't like how Matt Jones isn't getting any more love for the Heisman. There's nothing more he can do. He can keep on playing the schedule he's got, but he's played against the best defense anybody's going to play against this year, and they're still giving Trevor Lawrence more shine. No dig at Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but they just keep on over. He got all the star power. He's been talked about for the last 2-3 years, and it's just driving me crazy. Big Ten football starting this Saturday. And immediately they just kind of move on to Justin Fields. And I think our quarterback isn't getting no love.
Did you say it was Greg? I'm sorry, I missed your call.
Yes, Greg.
And where are you calling out of, Greg?
Greg from Birmingham.
All right, Greg.
Birmingham.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, Greg. I appreciate it. I always like to get like the first name. I think that's appropriate. I think you bring up a great point. When you look at Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, and I have a graphic right now on the screen for everybody to look at, and I've showed this a couple times this week, whether it be on social media or on our shows, season stats side by side. Pretty comparable, but I think the biggest difference between the two teams or between, the two players is the teams that they played, right? One guy on the right, Trevor Lawrence, has played against the Citadel and Georgia Tech. The other guy has played against Georgia, Missouri, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. Now, look, I get it. Trevor Lawrence would probably be just as effective if he was leading Alabama's offense. And I'll be real, like if Trevor Lawrence was on my NFL team, I'd definitely take him. But I think you're absolutely right. I think when we look at kind of the larger spectrum of what Mac Jones has been doing, 400 yards in 3 consecutive games, probably do it again today. I think he certainly needs more love.
Not only that, I don't think no SEC quarterback has thrown 300-400 games back to back to back, and he's on pace to do that again this today. So, like, what next? Does he have to throw 400 yards every game?
I don't think so. I think what he has to do, Mac Jones, is just to continue with his high level of efficiency. And when we look at what he's done kind of from a stat standpoint, I mean, he's 78%. And I think one of the things that really sets him apart is his efficiency. I have another graphic right now on the screen that kind of displays his overall passing tree. And if you look at his passes 20 yards down the field, it's really incredible. He grades out 93.5 to the outside left, 92.8 to the center of the field, and then 93.1 to the outside right. Those numbers are very similar and comparable to Tua Tagovailoa. So you look at the efficiency of these Alabama quarterbacks, it's really amazing. What else you got, Greg?
Also, I would like to just throw my boy Najee in there. He's playing excellent football, man. I don't think there's been a Derrick Henry hybrid of just like he has the size of Derrick Henry, but he's also able to do other things like he's hurdling players. Like I just went back and looked at some of his highlights in high school, and he's been doing that. He's ridiculous. He's gonna be a freak in the NFL. I think anybody would be happy to have him on this team, and I think he's the first round top 15 draft pick. Like I think he's also a big contender for the Heisman.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point about Najee Harris. I mean, he almost gets kind of lost in the shuffle because Alabama's offense is that good, which is crazy to think about. But he is kind of that prototypical Alabama running back, and you bring up a good comparison. I mean, 83 carries for 499 yards with 11 touchdowns. I mean, it's really incredible to see what he's done. You even look back to that game against Georgia, and I mean, he ran for a quiet 152 yards. We didn't really talk about that after the game with 31 carries. But yeah, thanks for giving Najee a shout out. I think you brought up some great points, Greg, and I'm going to get to my next caller, man. But please join us for the post-game show. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide to you, buddy. All right. Greg up in Birmingham. I'll take my next caller to 256, and then I got a 916 and then a 205. So hang tight. I'll be right with you on the morning pregame show right here on BamaInsider.com. Hey, fam, please take advantage of this flash sale. $12 for just 1 year on Bama Insider. The regular price is $99. I'm giving it to you for just $12. You get access to every single thing on BamaInsider.com for just $12 for the entire year. The deal won't last long. So truth be told, I'm going to close it out here pretty soon. So if you're watching this, definitely you can go take advantage of this as soon as possible. So get an annual subscription for just $12 at BamaInsider.com. Take my next caller, and we'll start right now. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Keith from Huntsville.
Keith, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. You're on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been watching Alabama for a long time, 40 years actually, since I was a kid. I'm concerned about the defense. I've never seen an Alabama team not have a defense. Now, they did play good against Georgia, but I'm really concerned about it. How are we going to compete with Clemson? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think, kind of, and Coach Saban would hate if we were having this conversation right now, right? Because it's just, a couple hours away from Alabama and Tennessee. But I think you're right. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I think, the elephant in the room is really, the tiger in the room, and that's the Clemson Tiger. And, Trevor Lawrence and everything that he has around the offense and the way that they beat Alabama the last two times the two teams played. I mean, it wasn't just that they won. I mean, they beat Alabama down. And they beat Alabama's defense down. We all remember that last imposing drive that was really quite simply embarrassing for Alabama's defense. And now, just like Nick Saban said, and just like the article I was talking about on ESPN, it's a game who can outshoot who. And I think with this offense, and I know like a long time fan like you probably doesn't like to hear that, because the Alabama, dynasty really has been built on defense. And to see kind of this of the Nick Saban evolved to this offensive, outscore you, it probably drives a lot of people insane, but this is where we're at in college football. But yeah, I think you're right. When we look long-term, it's going to be Clemson. I mean, I don't know what Ohio State's offense is going to look like. I would assume it's going to be fantastic right up there with Justin Fields, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. What else you got, Keith?
What about the recruiting on defense? Are they recruiting more on the offense and not recruiting more on the defense? Because I mean, that's usually the last few years they've had the best defenses, and it seems like we're not doing something right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know it's kind of, it's interesting to look at. I'm going to bring up actually the recruiting, who Alabama has recruited in this class, and we've talked about this several times with Andrew Bone, our recruiting analyst, kind of talking about some of these guys. But the defensive prospects you have coming in, Deontay Lawson, I hear fantastic things about him. Bone feels that he should be closer to a 5-star. He's a linebacker out of the Mobile area. You have Ian Jackson out of Prattville. Dallas Turner out of Florida, and then a couple guys who are in that kind of higher caliber. I think Monkel Goodwine, he's one guy to certainly keep tabs on, and some of these defensive backs. And of course, I would watch for Sunday with Quincy McKinstry set to announce. So I think the guys are there for defense. Absolutely, I don't think it's so much of a schematics. I think it's just the game of college football. Anything else, Keith? While we got you on the line?
No, I appreciate it, and y'all keep healthy.
All right. Thank you very much. Same to you, Keith. Thank you very much. I know. I mean, if you followed my shows, I've been saying this for a while now that the game is changing, and people are out there, want to point the entire blame to Pete Golding. But if you've read that article this morning by Chris Lowe, I mean, it talks about kind of how the offense has changed college football. Sound off in the comment box. Do you agree? Or is it just, can this defense improve? I think overall the defense has shown improvement over this last week against Georgia. Call me crazy, but I think I've seen it. And we'll get a chance to see it today against Tennessee. Now I know they don't have the best offense, but still we can see signs of improvement. All right, take our next caller and start now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? This is Mike. Calling from California.
Hey, Mike, what's up, man? Thank you very much for calling in this morning.
Oh, not a problem, bro. It's first time caller. So I guess my prediction, I would say 49-13 Alabama. And for your prior caller, I was listening to him talk about our defensive. I would say not evolution, but the college game, like you're saying, from the offensive side, is so different in this generation than it was three years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at what Saban's doing as far as offensive wise, I think the first Clemson, if I can remember, I guess it was a couple years ago, the national championship, we were really still a defensive team. And what Clemson did to our defense with the offense, I think Saban looked at that and said, I have to make a change personally for my team to evolve. And when you look at what he has done traditionally from the defensive standpoint, he's putting that same energy into the offense. And what we are watching from Hurts to Tua to Mac, it seems to just be a general evolution of what Nick Saban has always been able to do with college football. He's literally always been a step ahead of the game in college football.
Mm-hmm.
When he came to Alabama, everybody's been following Nick Saban. So the 22-0 or 23-0 against his assistants, I mean, how many games have Nick Saban literally lost in his career? So when we look at what we're worried about the defense, I feel like the second half of Georgia's game is the defense that we're going to start seeing in the latter part of the season, because Alabama football never takes a step backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I can look for the last 10, 15 years, they don't step backwards. So even in incremental quarters and halves and, even one games, when they make an improvement, that improvement sticks in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So if we watch what we watched against Stetson and Georgia last week in the second half, if we're watching that in just its own view,
mm-hmm.
we can project some of those similarities going ahead for the rest of the college football season.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one other thing before I let you get on to the next caller. Everybody's talking about Trevor Lawrence, Heisman, all this other stuff. Justin Fields, I feel like, in Ohio State is on that same level on par. I feel like if the Heisman Trophy was not a yearly based thing. They're not giving people Heisman trophies off 1 year. Like, they're only talking about Trevor Lawrence because he has a history. But if we're looking at just this year, whenever Justin Fields gets on the field, we can actually compare him and and Trevor Lawrence together. I think at that point, we can then say, we can actually compare what Mac Jones is doing to those two elite quarterbacks, because those names have been elite for a couple of years. Mac Jones has been sitting back. He was a four-star recruit when he came, but he's patiently sat back. He's not distant. He's improving. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was sitting back. So once we see Justin Fields play and get enough game footage on him while watching Trevor Lawrence play, if Mac Jones keeps his completion rate and his productivity to where they are, there's no way in the world, if we're looking at single season Heisman Trophy winners, you cannot say that Mac Jones is not 1, 2, 3, or, you know what I'm saying, he's in the top 3. And we got to actually look at the season and watch the defenses that these quarterbacks play. And then we can judge what the Heisman Trophy looks like. But Mac Jones is up there. There's absolutely no doubt about that. If Alabama continues to push this offense, we will continue to hear Mac Jones in the Heisman Trophy. I have no doubt about that. But I'm going to get off the phone and let you go ahead and respond to that, man. I appreciate you guys, and roll tide.
All right, right. Roll tide to you. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate the call. And I think, Mike brought up some great points. I mean, we certainly can't forget about Justin Fields and the talent that he has. I mean, can you imagine if he was at Georgia and if Georgia went up tempo? I mean, talk about a problem, right? Got a super chat in. Thank you very much. A super chat is basically a tip for the host. I greatly appreciate all super chats. Hit the $ inside YouTube, the comment box. All super chats go to the host. So I really appreciate it. This one's coming in from Gary Nelson. Question: why is it that Arkansas and Kentucky could shut up tempo offenses by running an 8-man zone, but we continue to unsuccessfully play man against them and get lit up? I think it's a great question. I mean, you look at Alabama and Ole Miss, complete shootout, and then you look at kind of that game after when Arkansas was able to shut down Ole Miss. What did Matt Corral throw? How many interceptions, right? So I think in that term, it comes down to schematics. How about this? You're talking about man coverage. What about, Gary, when they split out Georgia, when they split out a running back and they got Christian Harris in man-to-man coverage? It's exactly what you're talking about in this last game, right? Who didn't see that touchdown coming from a mile away? So I think in terms of the game, the game has evolved, but I think, too, you could point to the schematics and whoever is calling the defense. And I think when you look at that second half between Alabama and Georgia, what Alabama was able to do, force 2 punts and then come up with 2 interceptions. That's A, adjustments, and then that's B, players making plays. So I think you got to continue to see that. Arkansas and Kentucky, we'll continue to see how they progress defensively, but I think they've been doing a good job. And I think those are 2 teams that certainly have 2 of the top defenses in the SEC. It's tough to say. I know times are changing, and those 2 teams still on the schedule for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So thank you very much for the super chat, Gary. I really appreciate it. We'll move on to our next caller, and we'll take that right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling. Yeah, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Randall. I'm calling from Brigham, Alabama.
Okay. Good morning, Randall. Thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead.
Kyle, I've been an Alabama fan all my life, just like Keith there in Huntsville. Keith has some good remarks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, over this COVID deal, I've watched a lot of fans of Alabama, and the Alabama defense, you got to hand it to these defensive backs for doing their job, but I feel that they're giving up on the play too quick, and with these hurry up offenses and all, it just seems like we don't have linebackers that are ready. We don't have defensive backs that are ready, and they're lost as a blue goose. And like you said, I'm a true believer that defense wins games, and Barry Bryant will tell you that. That was back in the days when they had men playing football, and I tell you right now, a 7-6 score back then would have been all defensive ball game, and it hard hit. like in Barry Krause and all them, Marty Lyons and what have you. And, well, I love Alabama football, but I just don't. I believe the defense is backs. The coaching of them needs to be turned over to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we need a new man there. And where is our pass rush? And CJ, he was built up to be so great, and he's a good athlete, but he's given up on the plate too quick. I'm not a very bright partner, but I love your show, and I wish you well.
All right. Thank you very much, Randall. I really appreciate it. All right. That was Randall from Alabama talking about, I'm sure for, people in the older generations, right, to see kind of the old school defense and now to see this offense where it's like, a low scoring game is like, what is it, like 40? What would a low scoring game be, like 31-28? That would be like a low scoring game. That would be like an old school, like 7-6 in my opinion. And now what's happening is just it's amazing to see that the points that are put on the board. I mean, look at that Ole Miss Alabama game, 63-48. I mean, the points even last week, 41-24. I mean, those are a lot of points in these type of games. By the way, I wanted to give a certain shout out to Damien. Thank you very much. You got a $100 super chat. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I mean, it's the super chats go a long way to growing the business, and those go to the host right here, Kyle Henderson. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the super chat, and we appreciate all super chats. We got 200 people watching right now. Definitely should have 200 thumbs up. So please hit the thumbs up button. And thank you very much again. I'm really appreciative of that. Thank you very much. And I sincerely appreciate it. And I also wanted to tell fans, I'll get to my next callers in just a few minutes, that we have a special going on right now at Bama Insider, $12 for just 1 year. The deal will not last long. You go to Bama Insider, you get our entire coverage behind the paywall, just $12 for 1 year. The regular price is $99. So $12 for 1 year. The deal will not last long. Definitely go to Bama Insider. Look for the links to sign up, and the promo code is simply BAMA12. So thank you very much for your support on BamaInsider.com. We appreciate you guys being here today, watching the pregame show. I'll be around for a little bit more, and then I'll come back for some sort of a watch party. I know I've done the watch party in the past. I think I might do something a little bit different, because talking for 4 hours or whatever, and then having the post game show. So I'm going to do something different today, but I'm always coming up with different things, and we'll take our next caller, and we'll take it right now. Hey, thank you very much for being patient. I appreciate you calling in. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hudson from Kingsland, Georgia.
All right. Hudson, what's up, man? Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
I called in the other night. I figured I'd call that today. I enjoy the show. And I saw you live this morning, so I figured I'd call in. And I mean, the other guy, he had a great point about Christian Harris, but at the end of the day, like, you're going to get called in bad situations at least once or twice a game, And where has the pass rush gone, in your opinion? Why can't we get a pass rush?
I think that's a great question. I got to say thanks to Damien again. He just hit us with another $99 subscription or super chat. I'm like blown away. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for calling in, Hudson. I think when you look at kind of the pass rush, we saw some of it from Will Anderson, right? And I'll tell you where the pass rush is. I think it resides in Christian Barmore. I think the way that he was able to play against Georgia, who had a very good offensive line, probably one of the best that Alabama will see this entire year. I think if Christian Barmore, for whatever reason, he plays so angry, and I know there's a lot of people that agree with that. You definitely have to get after the quarterback. And Christian Barmore is that guy from the interior lineman standpoint that can get to the quarterback. I have so much confidence in Christian Barmore and his abilities. And I feel the same way about William Anderson. Yes, he's young, but I see a lot of positives in him. I want to see more from Chris Allen, and I'm curious to see why we haven't seen Kevin Harris play. Also, because I think that he could be another player. And you from Georgia, you probably know about Kevin Harris being, one of the top rated prospects a couple years ago. But he really hasn't got onto the field yet. But you need kind of the outside backers to step up, which I'm seeing from William Anderson. And you saw a good game from DJ Dell. He got his big paw up a couple times. One led to an interception, but I think Christian Barmore is certainly that guy to get after the quarterback. What else you got, Hudson?
I mean, that's about it. And I have to star 67 to call in here, so I was wondering if you'd unblock my number. I don't know what happened.
I didn't. Let me check on that. Email me, because sometimes there's so many calls and there's been a couple trolls that have called in. So email me, Kyle@BamaInsider.com. But keep using this feature to call in, and we'll take your call. Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Hudson. Appreciate it.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll tide to you. Thank you so much again, Damian. I mean, 2 back-to-back 99 super chats. I mean, never had that before. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They go a long way. I actually have to pay for the call online every single time. And I hope that, if you're a business owner out there, or you have a large business that would like to sponsor the call online, that'd be awesome. So maybe think about that, because I have to pay per call. And, it certainly adds up. So we have 200 people watching right now. We should have 200 thumbs up. So certainly hit that thumbs up button. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to take our next call, and that will start right now. Hey, thank you very much for calling in this morning.
This is Brennan Cook from Ohio.
Okay. Brandon?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Brandon. You're on.
Hey, I'm from Ohio, so I'm a Buckeye fan.
Okay.
I feel like the Big Ten starts today. The real football is today. I feel like the SEC, Alabama playing a cupcake team like Tennessee. I mean, I got Tennessee upsetting them. Nick Saban retires at the end of the game. But I feel like Justin Fields going to tear it up, win the Heisman, and that's the end to it.
Hey, Brandon.
Back on top, just like they should be.
Hey, Brandon, let me ask you a question while I have you on the line. And thank you very much for calling in. I really appreciate it. And, it must be good to be watching some college football, because I think, we all know that, the Big Ten, they had, kind of opted out and now kind of opted back in, which is great. But, when you look at Justin Fields, tell us more about this offense. I mean, do you think that this Ohio State team is capable to completely just dominate the Big Ten this year? Is this the team that you guys have been waiting for? Because I know you guys, obviously, the last couple of years has had some incredible teams. But this year, do you feel that this is the team?
Yes, I feel like with Ryan Day and his offense, I think he's going to put us in the position to win games, and Justin Fields is going to tear it up out there.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, and good luck to your Buckeyes, man, as they take on Nebraska today.
I appreciate it. Hey, Trump 2020.
All right, Brandon.
Go Bucks.
Thank you so much for calling in. We got Brandon calling in about Ohio State, and also giving some a shout out to Trump. So Brandon from Ohio, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate it. What do you guys think about Ohio State? I'm curious to watch the Big Ten. I mean, I think another game that's kind of on our pick'em board was at Michigan and Minnesota. I think what was it? Is Minnesota favored by like 3.5 or something like that? That's going to be an interesting game. You have the former offensive coordinator Josh Gaddis coaching for Michigan, but Michigan just they just can't get it done, right? I don't know. Maybe this is the year. Let me ask you this. This is going to be really weird, and I'll get to my callers in just a minute. Whatever type of Frankenstein playoffs we have, I don't know. Big Ten's going to play less games than the ACC, SEC, Big 12, and then you have the Pac-12. Well, I'm really scared if Oregon goes undefeated and they're like knocking on the playoff door, like we belong to be in the playoffs. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of the same thing. I mean, luckily the Big 12 I think is out of the picture. So you kind of look at SEC, ACC, and then maybe some team from the Big Ten. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Take our next caller, and we will take that right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Usually I started out, I like to get the name and where you're calling from. So go ahead. It's on you, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my name is Donald, and I'm calling from Long Island, New York.
Okay.
Been a Bama fan for a while.
Okay.
There's no good football teams up here in New York, so whatever.
No, I got you. So go ahead. You're on the show, man. Take it.
So, Yeah, I had a couple of questions. I would like to know, like, when are we gonna see some more of Trey Sanders? Because I know he was like the best running back in the nation, coming in last year as a freshman, and I know that he's the future. And Najee Harris, that dude is going in the first round next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, like whenever he gets like a breather, I know Brian Robinson can run.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's good, but I want to see some of Trey Sanders. Like I want to see what he's got, because he only has I think probably 2 snaps so far this season. So can you tell me some info about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much for calling in from Long Island. I appreciate it. We actually have a lot of followers from New York. There's a lot of Crimson Tide football fans up there. Regarding Trey Sanders, I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. I think he brings a lot to the table. And I think, we saw him against Missouri. He had 9 carries for actually 1 yard. And a lot of people are kind of curious about what happened in that particular game. Was it the offensive line? It was in the later part of the game, or was that Trey Sanders? I think it's kind of a combination of both of those things. When I rewatched that game against Missouri, and I'm very high on Trey Sanders, by the way, he just didn't seem to hit the holes hard enough. Compared to Brian Robinson and Najee Harris. I think those two have done a really good job to be able to hit that hole, be explosive. And we didn't really see that from Trey Sanders. Now, I don't think that's anything to be too worried about. I think Trey Sanders, from everything that I gathered from the intel from the backside of Alabama, that he's going to be very good. He's going to be that guy. But I think a lot of it is that was his first game. Remember, he was, had the foot injury last year. He's still a 5-star. I think he's a 5-star talent. And I think he's going to be fine, but I think he just needs more reps. And one of the things, when you look at kind of Alabama overall this year, they're not playing a lot of, second tier player, the guys in the 2 deep, even the 3 deep, and compared to the past couple years because of the SEC schedule. You guys just saw that Ismail Sapshire hit the transfer portal after not playing at all this year. So I think you could see that. I don't know if that's going to, I think you're going to see that more and more. But I think with Trey Sanders, I think we just have to be a little bit patient and kind of wait for him to get back on the field. What else you got, Donald?
Yeah. Another thing is that I would like to see Nick Saban get some more players on the defensive line who are exactly like Christian Barmore.
Yeah.
Because that dude is another guy that's going in the first round, and he plays with a lot of intensity. I haven't seen that kind of intensity since the days of Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Those kind of players in the defensive line is what helped us win those national championships. So I don't know, man. I don't know where he would get those players from, but he needs to continue getting them in, because I don't really, sometimes when the games are close, of course the games are going to be close, because every offense is good now. But whenever we needed a stop badly, those kind of players on the D line would wreak havoc. So I want to know, is it the scouting or something that's kind of fell off in that department?
That's a very good question, and thank you very much, Donald Clark, for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It was that you, Donald. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I'm Donald.
Yeah. So thank you. I mean, I've had a lot of shows, and for whatever reason, I don't get too many super chats, and it's not about the super chats. I come in here just because I love to talk Alabama football and provide the analysis. But thank you. It really means a lot that I get these super chats today. I'm extremely grateful. So thank you very much. It really makes my day, to be honest. I think when you look at interior defensive linemen, you have Christian Barmore. I mean, he's from kind of the wrong side of Philly, right? And he plays like that. He plays like, he plays so angry. And you saw that what he did last game against Georgia. I think in Alabama's probably wondering that same thing. Like, what are the other defensive linemen that we have that can match that intensity? Is it Phil Mathis, who's an upperclassman? Is it a guy like Tim Smith, who's a younger guy? Is it Jamil Burrow? Who is that dog going to be? Because they want somebody in the interior lineman that can really get after the quarterback. Exactly. I think they're trying to figure that out. When you kind of look at the guys coming in from the defensive side, that are the recruits, and I'll show that right now. As you can see on the screen, you have the defensive tackles, Anquin Barnes. Andrew Bone likes what he sees in him. You have Damon Payne. You have Tim Keenan, who actually just tore his ACL the other night. That's not good news for this very talented prospect. And then you have Monkel Goodwin. So I don't know, but I get what you're saying. You need that physicality from the defensive lineman, and we certainly see that from Christian Barmore. Anything else, Donald, while I got you on the line?
That's about it. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate the dialogue today, and have a good college football Saturday, Donald.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Cool. That's Donald from Long Island. And actually, truth be told, I actually produced the entire show by myself. So the cut scenes, the stuff on the bottom of the screen, I'm doing that all, at the same time. So sometimes if I get tongue tied, I'm like trying to do different things. So I apologize. I'm trying to put on the best product that I can. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Tuned in from Brooklyn. What's up? I'm telling you, we have a big following from Brooklyn. Hey, you know what? In Brooklyn, so I'm from I grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico. There's actually a restaurant that just opened up in Brooklyn, and it's all New Mexico inspired cuisine. So definitely go check it out. Sharif, I appreciate it. What do you think? What do you make of the safety situation? Right, make some big plays, but I'd rather have Battle and Helms out there. I think what you have when you look at, and I'll get to my next callers in just a few minutes. When you look at the safety position, I think what you have is good depth. Okay. And I know a lot of people feel that Daniel Wright might be a liability out there because he's not that physical. But I think with Daniel Wright, if you don't get that physicality, he is a ball hawk on the side, right? So you have Daniel Wright, who has 2 interceptions on the season. We haven't seen Eddie Smith play yet. He's another guy that's a safety that could potentially get onto the fields. And then you have Jordan Battle, who I really like. I mean, who doesn't like Jordan Battle? I think he has that physicality that you want from a safety. And then you have DeMarco Helms, who he might not have that speed, but he's your thumper. I really like DeMarco Helms. I wish he was a little bit faster. I'd like to see him work with Dr. Matt Ray, and maybe you'll see that throughout his career at Alabama. He's still young. So is Jordan Battle. But Daniel Wright is that vet. And, I think, for what he lacks in physicality, he is the ball hog. So I appreciate the super chat, and definitely research that New Mexico cuisine out in Brooklyn. I would be curious to get some feedback on that. I'll get to our next caller, and we'll take that right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Blake. I'm calling from Violet, Louisiana. I used to live in Alabama a long time ago because I was born and raised in Alabama.
Okay.
I just got some predictions on the game today.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away. Thank you very much, Blake.
Well, I see it like this happening today. Tennessee first quarter going to put up a little bit of a fight, but I think late first quarter, early second and third, I think Alabama's going to pull away because I feel like Tennessee just don't have the firepower to keep up with that Alabama offense. And then last week, the Alabama defense woke up against Georgia in the second half by pitching a shutout. They allowed Georgia to score no points, no field goals. I think the Alabama defense has actually woken up because they got a lot more physical, and they came out second half and just played lights out, smash mouth football. I see the game today just going down as a Alabama win. I think they have actually fixed most of their mistakes on defense, and Alabama should win the game today, 52 to, I'm gonna say 14. Most at the most 17.
All right.
I'm going to say 52-17.
52-17 from Blake in Louisiana. No, I appreciate the call in and the score prediction. Anything else while we got you on the line, Blake?
Yep. Matt Jones for Heisman. I think Matt Jones is playing just lights out. I don't think there's another quarterback in the country that's playing like this guy's playing and putting up those type of numbers. And then it's been consistent. Even with last year, when he came in the game and he played against Michigan in that big bowl game, had Michigan just looking lost. It took a quick second, but it had them looking lost for a minute. Jim Harbaugh and company, they know. But I think today that the Alabama defense gets even better, and the Alabama offense just starts really, really racking up and clicking on all cylinders. Too much firepower, too many receivers, too much in the running backs, too much talent at quarterback with Mac Jones, plus Mac Jones back up, which is
Bryce Young.
What's that guy name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, and then the other guy Tyson.
Paul Tyson.
What's his name?
Paul Tyson.
Paul Tyson. Yeah, I think the depth is too deep, too much talent all around the board. It's a blowout. It's gonna play close first quarter, but after that, second, third, fourth quarter, I think Alabama owns them. They don't have the talent that Alabama has to keep up with them.
No, I agree, Blake, and I think you bring up a great point about the defense. And I showed
too much.
Yeah, and I showed a graphic. Hold on, before you go, Blake, let me show this to everybody. Kind of paint the picture of what you're talking about. You look at what Alabama was able to do in that second half against Georgia. They came out, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, and then that second half, punt, interception, field goal. And like I said, that's adjustments, and that's also defense making a play. So I think you bring up a great point, Blake. Thank you very much for calling in. We have a post-game show that'll be after the game, so definitely check that out, and we'll get some more commentary. Cool.
All right, but I'm gonna last note this, but I said last week, even with Georgia, if they come out second half and make Georgia start kicking the ball, they got them. And the defense woke up. They had like 3 picks in the game, and that was the end of it. When they was playing hardcore smash mouth football and they started making Georgia put the ball, kick the ball, it didn't end up good. 41-24. But hey, like I was saying, I think they have actually woken up, and I think today it ain't gonna look good for Tennessee after the first quarter.
I probably agree with you on that, Blake.
All right.
Take it easy, man. Have a good college football Saturday, and we'll catch you soon.
All right. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, Blake. All right, that's Blake out in Louisiana. He said he grew up in Alabama. So, all right, we will take our I think we'll take our final call, and then I'll wrap it up, and then we will I'll join you back for some sort of a watch party. I don't know if I'll be on that whole time. I think I might just put up some score graphics, and then after the game, definitely stick around because we have the post-game call-in show where I'll take your calls. So definitely write the number down, 205-850-0883. The great thing about the show is while I'm taking all the calls, you can listen to the show. And let me tell you, so when you call in, you're going to hear kind of a tone, like a beep, beep, beep. And then I'm going to take your call. So I'll be like, hello, thank you very much for calling. Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And then we'll start the show. So that's kind of, if you're a first time caller, that's kind of how it works. But the post game call-in show is right after Alabama and Tennessee today, right after the game, immediately. So after the game, think Bama Insider post game call-in show. Right after the game, post game call-in show, Bama Insider. We're the ones who started it, and we're the ones that you guys should definitely be checking out. Right after the game, I'll be taking your calls. So thank you very much for joining us on our post-game show. All right, this is my last call for the morning show, and then we'll catch up with you guys soon. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, what's up, man? I made it. This is Sam from Alabama, man.
Sam, what's up, man? You made it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm up at this time. I'll be working sometimes on the weekends, so it's all good. How you doing, man? How you doing today? You look like you had church service this morning, man.
Right? I mean, always blessed, man. I woke up, spent some time with my wife and my kids, who I love very much, and I work very hard for them, So a lot of this is obviously to grow the business, but a lot of this is obviously to put food on the table. And I think that's why we all, like you're saying, you got to work. I got to work. I mean, work is work. And that's something that I'm blessed to be able to do. I've never really looked at this as work because I love really what I do. And I appreciate everybody who joins us. I never would have thought that this channel and the website would get as big as it has become. But that's kind of inspired me to work hard, to get up, to be in what I call the Eagles Club, to work harder, to work better, and try to put on the best product. So thank you very much for asking, Sam. I appreciate it. Go ahead, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I just got a few things, man. What I want to see today, I want to see. Well, first of all, I want to see our kicking game do a little bit better than they did last week as far as covering on kickoffs.
Okay.
And can our kicker kick the ball in the end zone?
Yeah.
Right, for a touchback. I want to see that, But if it doesn't go on, can I kick coverage team? Can they cover? Because they gave up a lot of yardage on kickoff return against Georgia last week. Offensively, I just want to see them continue to do their thing. They've been the most consistent group on this team thus far. Every week, they've been more consistent than any other team. There's any as far as like defense, offense, special team, they've been the most consistent team. The only thing I want to see from them is protect Mac Jones a little bit better, because Mac did get, looking back at the game, Mac did get hit a few times. Even though he got rid of the football, Georgia still hit him. They was in his face constantly. Defensively, I just want them to what I want to see today is defensively. What I'm gonna be paying attention to is the running backs and the tight ends. They got some pretty capable running backs. They're gonna run the football, I know, because they got a pretty decent offensive line. And our corners, I think our corners will be tested more so today than they have been all year. Wow. What I've been saying, was it Jerry? Is it Guantanamo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Garantano.
Yep.
I've been saying Garantano. He what he likes to do is throw the deep ball on the edges. He likes to throw the deep ball. So I think our corners will be tested today. What I also want to see is our defensive front. Will our defensive front get penetration as far as like disrupting the backfield and also pressuring the quarterback? So that's what I look forward to seeing today, man. And I want to see somebody step up on defense. Offensively, we have guys that are, you see the leadership on offense with Najee and Mac Jones and Devonta Smith, right? I don't see the leadership on defense. Somebody have to step up and take ownership of this defense. Dylan Moses should be the leader, but he's not playing, and he's not playing like a leader should play. Maybe I got that wrong in my assessment, but and maybe he's still kind of hesitant about his knee and where he may stand as far as next year, maybe going to the draft or whatnot. So I want to see somebody step up and show the leadership and instill in his other teammates, that confidence of going out and just performing and doing the job that coaches ask them to do. So. But yeah, man, like I said earlier, man, I want to see them open up a can on these guys, man. I look forward to this game every year. Kyle, ask me why. Ask me why I look forward to this game every year.
Sam from Alabama, why do you look forward to Alabama and Tennessee every single year?
Because, man, the University of Tennessee, they low down, they're dirty, and they're some bitches.
Oh yeah, that you did it. You did it.
Not just that, man. How often and I'll say this and I'll let you go. How often do you hear of a University of Tennessee has the worst fight song? Right. That's why I want to see them beat them down today. They got a hillbilly song as their fight song, man. Can nobody else say that? The University of Tennessee, dude. All right. So I look forward to hearing from you later on this evening, man. I'll chime in later on tonight, and I appreciate you and what all y'all do for us, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, Sam. I really appreciate the dialogue, and we'll catch up later tonight on the post game show.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man. Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it. All right, this will be my last. This will be my last call, fam. I'm gonna take it because you just got in late, but I'm blessed, so I'll take blessed to be here. So I'm gonna take this call. All right. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thank you very much for calling in. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Thomas from Selma, Alabama. How you doing, Kyle?
Good, man. Thank you very much, Thomas. Right?
Yeah.
All right, take it away, Thomas.
All right. The first question I have is it has nothing to do with the Tennessee. I get with the Tennessee game after. What's going on with Keelan Robinson? Why hasn't why is he not listed on the depth chart, and why haven't I seen him play?
Okay, cool. Let me show you guys something real quick on Bama Insider. So I keep telling you guys to become a subscriber of Bama Insider, and people who aren't subscribers are probably like, what could I get, that, I can't get anywhere else? Well, what I do is I compile like a very thorough list on every single player on that, who hasn't played, what they've done throughout the season. And I'm going to give you guys a quick teaser of that right now. And then I'm going to talk to you about Keelan Robinson. So let's see.
Okay.
All right. So on the screen, so you probably can't, let's see. I'm going to line this up for everybody. So what this is I go through every single player, what they've done. Now, these are specific players that haven't played this season. Keelan Robinson, Tanner Bowles, Joseph Bolivas, Ismail Sapshire, Skylar DeLong, Braylon Ingram, Amari Kite, Michael Parker, Jerez Parks, Ty Perrine, Eddie Smith, Brandon Turnage, Paul Tyson, Stephon Wynn. Now, did you know that those players hadn't played, right? So you probably didn't, right?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like we go really deep on the website. But to get to your point about Keelan Robinson, I think from everything that I gather, he's not in the transfer portal. Okay. Nick Saban hasn't said he's injured. So I think kind of the writing on the wall points to the fact that he opted out. Now, I don't know that for certain, and I haven't been able to confirm that. And Nick Saban said at the beginning of the season that if any player wanted to opt out, that was going to be up to that player to do. And if he wanted to make an announcement, that he could do that. But in terms of, is it a true opt out or is it something else? I don't know. But I think kind of writing on the wall is leading to opt out because he's not in the NCAA transfer portal at this time.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right. Now we can get into the Tennessee game, and pretty much I can kind of do like an overview of the rest of the schedule. I feel like we're going to coast through the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that way. I feel like we have enough offense to just outscore everybody in the SEC. I feel like our true test is when we get to the playoffs and we play a team like Ohio State or a team like Clemson who can hang with us on the offensive side of the ball. Even with Georgia, I was kind of. I was nervous about that game because I didn't know how well the defense would play, and they still didn't necessarily play to the Alabama standard. I feel like we got by in that game. I feel like Stetson Bennett, he's a lesser talented quarterback. He's doing good. Don't get me wrong, but he's a lesser talented quarterback. He can't really see over the offensive lines. They left a lot of plays on the field. It was a play where Dalvin Cook came out of the backfield. I think it was on the right side of the field. And I mean, we had a blown coverage. He was wide open and Stetson Bennett just missed it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we got a lot of gifts in that game. Even though we dominated on offense, I still wasn't impressed with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Kyle?
I mean, like, I think it was one of our previous calls, and we talked kind of about the game last week and kind of what went into it. And I think when I look at the game, from Alabama and Georgia, I keep pointing towards those second half adjustments. Now I get it. The first half, I think Kirby, had the best game plan that he could have. But I think in the second half, as I point to on the screen right there, point, interception, field goal. Now something happened. Was it the inspiration from Will Reichard's 52-yard field goal that, sent the team into the locker room with a ton of momentum and this team really came out? Was it Nick Saban that took over the defense and kind of, ran the schematics for that second half? We're never going to know that. But what we do know, in my opinion, at least, is that the trajectory of the defense is upward against I wouldn't say Georgia's offense was overall impressive, but I think what we saw in terms of defense making adjustments and players making plays, we saw that. Are they going to do that today against Tennessee? Probably so. I would imagine. And I think a big catalyst will be big plays from the offense. So look for big plays of the offense. And then all it takes is a one stop from the defense or a big play on the defense to get this offense and this team going. So if the defense comes with it, then the offense continues to roll, because we all know that nobody's going to stop this offense. In my opinion, it's all about this defense making stops at key times, getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's going to lead to the eventual big blowout that everybody's expecting this game to be.
Okay, I agree. I agree with you that Alabama really doesn't have to have a dominant defense. They just don't. Of course, we all us Alabama fans, we want to see that. We want to see those defenses of old, but I think that time is kind of past, and we have a great offense, and we have to kind of just play off of that. And they did make a lot of opportunistic plays last week. I'm not downing them, all the way. It's just that I'm so used to, those dominant Alabama defenses.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's frustrating to watch. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating to watch sometimes, especially the tackling. The tackling is just horrible at times. Daniel Wright had a free shot. I don't want to keep you forever, but Daniel Wright had a free shot. That goal line play. Yes, I think it was Georgia's first touchdown from Zamir White. And the hole opened up, and Daniel Wright had a free shot.
Yep.
As Zamir White, he just threw an arm out there. I'm like, what are we doing?
And that's one thing that I agree with you about is the physicality from the safety position. I don't feel it's there. I think Jordan Battle, he's come up with a couple big hits, but in terms of the overall physicality from Daniel Wright, and I talked about this earlier, it's just not there. You see, he has the ball hawking ability, and I think, like you said, he does play opportunistic, and that means he's in the right spot at the right time, right? He'll just grab an interception, whatever. But in terms of like that physicality, I don't see it from the secondary. But with that said, sometimes Patrick Surtain, when I look at the overall Pro Football Focus grades, he's a good open field tackler in my opinion. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes it's more opportunistic, just being in the right place, right time, than overall doing what you're supposed to do. What else you got, Thomas?
I got one more thing about the Tennessee game. I do expect them to establish the run early. They do have a good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
If most Alabama fans don't know, they have a very stout offensive line, and I think they're going to be able to get a little bit of a push. But like I said, our offense is just going to be too much for the rest of this SEC schedule. I just don't see it. I don't see an upset happening when you have Waddle and Devonta Smith and John Mechie beating the guys in front of them every play. These guys get separation on every play. Mac Jones can just sit back and choose who he wants to throw the ball to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not fair, especially when you look at the offensive line and Najee Harris. I think we win this game by at least 20 points today. We will give up some yards, and we're going to give up some points. Bama fans might as well get used to it. We're gonna give those yards up, but we're going to make up for it. And that's all I want to say. Roll Tide. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too, man.
All right, fam. Thank you very much for joining us today on the show. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me this morning. Enjoy those morning college football games, and I'll see you guys during the watch party for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be on the entire time, but I will be on the entire time for the post-game show. We'll also have Nick Saban's press conference, and then I'll, of course, provide my observations in the morning on Sunday. And, of course, JaQuincy McKinstry does make his announcement tomorrow, and we'll have full coverage on that with Andrew Bone. Great time right now to take advantage of that flash sale. All you got to do is go to BamaInsider.com and look for the $12 promotion. I'll put that information in the description box as well. Just $12 for an entire year. The deal will not last long. You get all the information at BamaInsider.com. I'll quickly show you a sneak peek of what we provide at BamaInsider.com. And one of the things that I do is I go heavy on, the team. This is our message board. This is all premium information that you can't get anywhere else. And you want to talk about going heavy. I add this every single day. Or right after every single game, and I go through every single player. All right, so I'm going to give you what they did on and how they graded out. I'm going to give you stats. Here's Patrick Surtain, Xavier Williams, Daniel Wright, Chris Allen, every single player. And this is cleanly organized. You'll find that what players did against every single team, and I do that after every single game. We also got Andrew Andrew Bone's recruiting board, and you can get, his weekly recruiting thoughts. Let me show you what that looks like, kind of written out from the best in the business in Andrew Bone. This is his message board right here. And you kind of get, the whole skinny from Andrew Bone, and Bone goes so heavy on the recruiting side. And of course you got Tony Sukal. So this is all premium information that you can get every single day for just $12 right now. The regular price on this is $99. So we're selling it right now for just $12. Go to Bama Insider. The promo code is BAMA12. Thank you very much to everybody that has joined us this morning. I really appreciate the super chats. It really means a lot to me that you guys would take time to join us this morning, as well as the super chats. Catch us later tonight for the post-game show right here. I'll be taking your calls. We'll be breaking it all down, and we'll have fun with it and talk about Alabama and Tennessee while you guys are smoking those cigars. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and you get to spend some time with your loved ones and family on Saturday and on Sunday, of course. I'll catch up with you guys soon. Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com.